Right, so this tutorial is going to be animating a bouncing ball, and I'm going to be covering the main things I'm trying to teach here are Mayer's workflow, using the stepped system properly, breaking things down properly, and then also splining things at the end. So everything's already been set up. We've got the hotkeys ready, we've got auto key on, and we've got our tangents set up on stepped. I'm going to lock my render cam, because I don't want my render cam flying around everywhere when I'm zooming in and out. I'll leave the ball about there, I'm quite happy with that, there's enough space. So up here on the top left there is a camera with a little padlock on it, and click on that, and then now I'm zooming in and out and I can't move the camera. It's locked, which is very, very helpful. Some animators will have multi-screens on at once, and they'll have their render cam there, and then they'll be looking from other points of view over here, so they can move around and adjust, you know, what they're doing, and then they've got their render cam here so they can see what's going on. I'll not do that for this because it's just a ball. I'm going to make a few deliberate mistakes with this so that we can learn how to address mistakes, because when you're animating things, it goes wrong all the time, and that's where your knowledge comes in. You know, it's all about fixing animation mistakes, not about doing the perfect animation first time. Animation is reanimation. Somebody said that, I don't know who, but it's very true. So I'm going to start by laying down a keyframe. I know that I'm only going to be translating, I'm not going to be rotating, and I'm not going to be scaling. So I'm not going to hit the S key. Instead, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and I'm going to press W. And you'll see up here where my cursor is, the translates will be the things that get keyed. There we are. If you want to be really picky, I'm actually only animating up and down. So I don't even need X and Y. So if I wanted to be really picky, I could undo that and just simply right click on it and hit key selected. And again, when we get into the graph editor later, you'll see that there's only one set of keyframes on one spline curve, and it's just the one that I'm using. I'll leave it like that for now. This is where we begin animating this ball. There's two approaches to animation. There's straight ahead animation, which is where you just improv frame by frame until you feel like you're finished, and there's pose to pose animation, where you plan out roughly where things will begin and end and where the middle bits will be before you put all the time and effort in. There's pros and cons to both. This tutorial is going to be a straight ahead animated tutorial. Right, so let's get this ball animated. I put down a keyframe here on the Y, and I'm just going to use my hotkeys now to go forward to 2. So I've gone from 1 to 3, and I'm going to add a little bit of slow in there. Another 2. It's going to speed up a bit. Another 2. It's going to fly down. Another 2. It's going to keep flying down. And another 2. There we go. We'll just have it at the floor there. Right. So how long did that take? That was 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So it's 10 frames it's taken to hit the floor. Brill. And I've just taken a rough guess there with my spacing, which is what I always do. I'll just literally take a guess. I'll fix it all later. For now I just need to get a rough idea. Alright, it's hit the ground, so another 2, and it'll bounce back up again. Let's say it bounced quite high. Another 2. Carry it on a bit. Don't want it to go too high. Another 2. Sift it up a bit like that. Another 2. And slow it out. And then let it slow back in again. 2, drop down, 2, a bit more as it speeds up again, and then hits the ground again. There we are. I'll leave it at that for now. I could keep on bouncing this all the way to the end, but that's not going to be very fun to watch. Right, so I'm going to take my timeline to 29 so that it's done. Well, I won't actually. I'll leave a bit of space so it can end. Let me just watch what I've done so far, see how my first attempt went. Okay, fair enough. You can see it's not perfect. There's definite improvements that we can put in there. Right, so we've put down all of those initial keyframes. Now it's time to go into the graph editor and actually have a look at what we've done visually. See what the visual representation of it is. There we are. And if I can, I'm going to make it so that we can look at the graph editor and the ball. Put the graph editor there. And move the ball using this camera tool here, the 2D pan camera tool, which just enables me to shift this around. It's very much a UI thing, I'm not actually moving the camera in Maya. Okay, right, so let's have a look. So our stepped frames, this is why they're here basically, so that we can visually see what we're doing. And do you know something? That's not a bad job. That's a slow in there. It speeds up again, speeds up again, and then hits the floor. And what we're looking at is these dotted lines, not the straight ones. The straight ones are the timing, the dotted lines are the spacing. So that's that. That's a little bit more, that's a little bit more again. And that's what we're looking for really, is a gradual increase until we get to full speed. And it's important to me that this one here on the ball bounce, this one here is the longest, because it's literally hit its velocity speed before it's then hit the ground. You can see on this side where it's bounced back up again, and this is a mistake. So you can see it bounced up with this much energy. It landed here and it bounced up to there, and you can see that the spacing there is not as big as the spacing here. So it's almost as if somewhere between these two frames it got an extra boost, like there was a gust of wind that blew it up, or it had a rocket pack on that took it up higher, which obviously isn't the case. Gravity slows things down, it doesn't speed things up. So that tells me that I either need to pull that down or pull that up. Now I wouldn't pull this one up, because if I pull that up any more than it is, then it's bounced back from the ground harder than it hit the ground. You can see the spacing from here to the ground is one thing, and then the spacing from there up to here is higher. So again, it's as if it's had some kind of thrust, which you just wouldn't get in the real world. It might if it was a trampoline or something, but because it's just the ground, it really can't be any higher than than the last two frames before it hit the ground. So I'll keep that below this. And then this spacing here is a problem, so I'm going to bring that down. So long as it's less than this, then we're in a good place. Brilliant. Okay. And then this one, it disperses, I have to admit, it does run out of energy real quick. That's okay. Goes up to there, right. It slows in here. Speeds up there. Speeds up there. Right, so we've got a bit of a problem here as well with the time it's taking. I think I'll have to take that up there a bit more. Take that up there a bit more. Take that up to about there. Because again, I want this one to be the fastest. Can't be faster than these though, because that'll start to look a bit odd. Let's just put it about there. Okay, brill. Let me play that back, see how that looks. Yeah, fair enough. It's bouncing really high. It's bouncing really high. The reason I'm doing all this is just so you can see how I would think about a scene and how I'd work through. And it really is a guessing game. It's very much trial and error, just trying to use your judgment to get the animation right. This brings us to our first change. Now I don't think that from this frame here to this frame here, the energy hasn't really been decreased enough. Really, I should have had that about there, because gravity would have stopped that top point. It probably would have, the ball would have only managed to bounce to about there. And I can either go through and move everything down one by one and, lose all my spacing and have to do it all again. Or I can use the scale tool in the graph editor to bring it all down at once. So I know roughly where I want that to go. I'm going to highlight these here. I'm going to hit the R key, and then I'm going to hold down Shift and middle click and drag. And you can see I'm able to scale the whole thing at once like this. And I keep all the relativity from one frame to the next. So yeah, I want it to be about there, I think. That's my rough guess. Because it wouldn't manage to bounce back up as high as it was. Yeah, I prefer that. I don't know what kind of ball this is. I'm guessing some kind of basketball maybe. Right, so let's put in all the other frames. I'm going to do this step by step. Right, and you can watch the graph editor so you can see things appear as they go along. Bounce back up again. It's not a bad idea to have the graph editor open while you put frames like this in, because you are able to see roughly what you're doing. About there. I'm getting to that point again now in the graph editor where I want to make sure that things are running out of energy at an even pace. So I've already hit the peak here of how high I'd want to go. But I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 here. So really I want to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I do need that one last one in there to make it a clean even 8. That is a mistake, but I'm doing that on purpose again just so we can fix it later for the sake of the tutorial. Alright, another 2 along, nudge it down, another 2 along, take it down again, probably too far there. I can either be looking at two things here. I can either be looking at the graph editor to see what's happening over here, or I can be looking at the ball. I should be looking at the ball really, it's probably a better way of doing it. Right, so there, slow out, slow out. That was a big one. Okay, let's just do it there. Do it again. And probably hit the floor there. Dump. I think that was 8. What I'm doing at the moment is I seem to be doing, I've done 10 down there. I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've done 8 back up there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done 10 down there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I've done 8 back up, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I've done 10 back down. So my timing is all over the place. So we will go back and fix all that once I've actually gotten to the end of my ball bounce. So as far as my spacing is concerned here, relatively even, not brilliant between these two. Probably raise that up a bit there, raise that up a bit there, let it speed up properly because I want this last one to be this spacing here needs to be the largest spacing. Dump. Okay, great. Bounce back up again. I don't know how long this ball is going to continue to bounce for. Back up again. Nudge it back down again. Nudge it back down again. To ground. I think I only did 8 there. You're probably noticing that on the graph editor I can't see everything that I'm doing. In theory, if I hit the A key, there we go, it'll show me what I'm doing and where I'm doing it. So move that up to there, move that up to there. Okay. What did I do there? I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight to ground. Alright, this is the last one I'm going to do wrong, and then I'm going to start putting things right as far as timing is concerned. We have a big timing problem here. Let's watch it through. Let's see how this masterpiece looks. Skip back. Oh, I've got a hotkey by the way for playback. My hotkey is Alt V because that's the Maya default. You can go on the hotkeys though and put it to whatever you want. Some people put it as space, some people put it as return or enter. Right, so there's my playback. Lovely. You can probably see the problem, and that is that the timing is all over the place. Sometimes it's going up, it's taking 8 frames to go up and 10 frames to come down. Sometimes it's taking 6 frames to go up and 8 frames to come down. It's not even. So what should be happening is it should come down at one speed. Let's say it takes 10 frames to come down. I think that's what I did. Yeah, I did. And it should slowly reduce over the time. So 10 frames to come down, 8 frames to go up, 8 frames to come down. Then it should be, let's say, 6 frames to go up, 6 frames to come down. And then over here, 4 frames to go up, 4 frames to come down. And then next, 2 frames to go up, 2 frames to come down. And then next, 1 frame to go up and 1 frame to come down. The timing should disperse as well as the positioning of the y-axis, as you can see here. So as well as the ball getting, as well as the bounces getting short, smaller and smaller and smaller, the timing should also get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I've done it like that so that we can actually have a look and change things right here. So let's see. First up, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down. I've got no problem with that. That was a perfectly good drop. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 up. I'm happy with that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 down. Right, so that's where I'm not happy. I need it to end over here. So what I'll do is I'll get rid of this. Drag a box over these. Hold down the shift key. The reason I hold down shift is so that I'm not flying all over the place. Drag a box, hold down shift, middle click. Again, middle clicking will let you drag everything around like this. I'll hold down shift so that it locks me in place. Middle click and drag. There we go. That's allowed me to just go up and I can't accidentally move around anywhere. Or I can hold shift and go left and right, but then I can't go up and down. Very, very handy. So I've dragged over to there, and now I just need to adjust my spacing slightly. So slow in there, probably slow out a bit more here, need a much bigger jump here, and then it's hit the ground with quite a thud there. You can probably see that the drop here is a lot stronger than this one going up there. I don't think that'll matter so much, I think it'll be alright. I will try and mimic the slow in here and the slow out there to try and get something that looks quite even. But in general, these two, that's gravity pushing it back down and this is gravity slowing it down. So these two should be relatively similar because it's the same force that's doing it. So down there, fab. Right, so that was 10 down, this is 8 up, and now this is 8 down as well. So I want this one to disperse even more and for it to become 6 up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have the same problem again. I'm going to get rid of this in between here. And I'm going to grab all these, hold down shift, middle click, and drag that way. Fab. If for some reason you've got your scale key stuck on, which happens all the time, just press the W key and it'll go back to translate again. Right. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 up, and I need 6 down as well. And I believe I've got 10 down here, so it's a real mess. I am going to alter this spacing first. So let's take it to about there. Let's have a look at this. Quite a big bounce, maybe to there. Slow it down about there. Fab. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it needs to end there. Get rid of these two. Grab these and shift them along. There we are. And it drops a little bit, drops a lot, and then hits the ground. I think I'm alright with the bouncing. Yeah, I mean, as you can see, from here to here to here, perhaps this one in the middle would be slightly smaller. Maybe there instead. Did that actually change much? Nope, that didn't change at all. Let's try it again. I think I'll change it. Pull it down just a little bit, just a little bit. Oh, do you know what? It needs like a soften key on it so that you can move slowly. But there, I like that. I think it was better as it was. Redo. Okay. That one's also going down. Well, that's good. It's really high. Let me play this back and just see what it looks like. Doing, doing. Stay with it. Okay, so playing it back, I think that the 6 one is too high. I'm going to drop the size of the 6 one. I'm going to take it to about there instead. I'm also going to drop this one as well because I just want it a bit smaller. And there we go. Just take it to there. Take this down a bit. Right, so this one here this one was 6 down. So I want this one to be 4 up. Really not very much. And I'm going to do both sides at once this time, just to save on time. Let's get rid of that, and get rid of that. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, then we got to the top. 9, 9, 1, 2, 3. Blah, try again. 1, 2. And then 1, 2. And come to the ground. Let's have a look at that. Fair enough. Slow in, slow out is horrible. Let's just have a look at the slow in, slow out. Let's raise them up. There we go, so about there instead will look a lot better, I think. Yeah, that's great. Okay. Okay, right, now we're going to do 2. 1, 2. And I've got nothing at the moment, so I'll put it up. And then 2 down. 1, 2. Ah! Make sure they're in the same place. I'm going to select this, and I'm going to go... I can use hotkeys, but I won't because you won't be able to see. Copy, and then over here, I'm going to do paste. Paste, 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 paste. There we go, so those two are exactly the same. In theory, these should all be exactly the same as well, but they're probably not. Right, last one. So it's just 1 up and 1 down. 1 up. 1 down, and that can serve as that final little bit. I think I've still got the paste in here, so paste, yeah. Alright, let's play that back. That looks cool. It's got a weird little bounce going on at the end. It's a bit of an abrupt end, so I think that needs to go to there. That needs to go to there. That needs to go to there. Yeah, maybe that'll look a bit better. Yeah, that's fair enough. Alright, I'm pretty happy with that block now. I think it looks decent. I'll leave this tutorial at that. So that's a block through of the bouncing ball. In the next tutorial we will begin to spline it.